gave her the biggest hug that I could. And when she saw me, she was like, oh man, finally somebody I see that's on my side.
Right, they can relate.
She was getting hit with everything left and right, and I just said, I hugged her, I said, I'm so proud.
I was there when it happened. I saw the exact moment Cheryl Miller chose to destroy everything we built together as WNBA veterans. When she gave Caitlin Clark the biggest hug that I could and whispered those words, finally somebody was found by me. I see that's on my side. She wasn't just supporting a rookie. She was declaring war on every veteran who ever bled for this league. You want to know what really went down? I was there, I saw it happen, and what I'm about to reveal will shock you to your core. This isn't about mentorship or sisterhood. This is about the most devastating betrayal in WNBA history, and how one legendary player chose to burn down decades of veteran loyalty for a rookie who hadn't earned her place. The WNBA has always operated on an unspoken code. We protect each other. We stand together. When rookies come in thinking they're hot stuff, we humble them. Not out of cruelty, but out of love. It's how we've always done things. It's how the league survived when nobody cared about us, when we were playing for peanuts, when we had to prove ourselves every single night. But Cheryl Miller? She threw all of that away. She took one look at Caitlin Clark and decided that this white girl from Iowa was worth more than the sisterhood that carried her through her darkest moments. I know because I was in those locker rooms when Cheryl was struggling, when she needed us, when we were the ones who had her back. Sophie Cunningham tried to warn everyone what was happening. She revealed the Phoenix Mercury locker room conversations where veterans were planning to show Clark what the W really is. But instead of supporting Sophie for speaking truth, instead of understanding that this was about maintaining respect and order, Miller chose to side with the enemy.
Jump out the gym. She's not like your 6'6", 6'5", which gives her a height advantage, a length advantage. So it has to be here. It has to be here. Because I've never seen someone offensively rebound better than her. Better than her. And she reminds me of that mentality of Dennis Rodman. Anything around the rim, loose around there, she gonna get. She gonna find a way. She just, and they used to call it, he has a nose for the ball. No, it's just something in them that every loose ball, they gonna find a way. Runs the floor, great hands, understanding. Those two being on the floor shattered whatever narrative people were trying to push. I don't want animosity. I mean, it was fun while it lasted.
Listen to that again. No animosity. It was fun while it lasted. These guys, all they want to do is win. That's Cheryl Miller completely dismissing the legitimate concerns of WNBA veterans who've been grinding for decades. She's telling the world that our feelings don't matter, that our experience doesn't count, that somehow we're the problem for expecting rookies to earn their respect. This betrayal runs deeper than you think. I remember when Cheryl was getting destroyed by critics, when people were questioning her coaching abilities, when the media was tearing her apart. Did she forget who stood by her then? Did she forget which players defended her when nobody else would? We were her sisters, her family, her support system through every storm she faced. The numbers don't lie about what veterans have endured. Clark drew 4.5 personal fouls per game in 2024, but guess what? That's normal rookie treatment. Diana Taurasi took 5.2 fouls per game her rookie year. Sue Bird took 4.8. Maya Moore took 4.6. This has always been how we welcome rookies to the league. It's not targeting minus, it's tradition. But Miller doesn't care about tradition. She doesn't care about the sacrifices we made to build this league from nothing. All she sees is Caitlin Clark's popularity, her media coverage, her endorsement deals, and suddenly decades of veteran loyalty means nothing to her. The moment that broke my heart completely was during the All-Star game. Cheryl had the perfect opportunity to bridge the gap, to help Clark understand how things work while also respecting the veterans who paved her path. Instead, she chose sides. She made it clear that in her mind, Caitlin Clark was more important than Angel Reese, more important than the established veterans, more important than the very women who made the WNBA possible. I've talked to veterans across the league, and they're devastated. Not because of Caitlin played as she's just doing what any rookie would do, but because Cheryl Miller, someone we trusted, someone we respected, chose to throw us under the bus for a player who hasn't paid a single due.
First of all, I'd like to congratulate the inductee class of 1995.
I would like to thank the Hall of Fame. I'm sure that I'm going to forget some people out here, but I'd like to thank Linda Sharp, my coach at USC, Bill Wall, Lynn Berry, Annie Myers, Coach Pat Summitt, my mom and dad, my friends, my family. I remember...
Multiple sources have confirmed that Miller's comments caused a complete breakdown in veteran unity. Players who used to text each other daily have gone silent. Team dinners that used to include retired legends like Miller have been canceled. The sisterhood that held this league together through decades of struggle is crumbling because one woman decided that fame was more important than loyalty. Even in her Hall of Fame speech, Miller talked about gratitude, about thanking the people who supported her journey. Linda Sharp, my coach at USA, Bill Wall, Len Berry, Andy Myers, Coach Pat Summitt, my mom and dad, my friends, my family. Where's that gratitude now? Where's the acknowledgement of the current players who looked up to her, who defended her, who considered her family? The betrayal stings because it's so unnecessary. Nobody asked Cheryl to choose sides. Nobody asked her to destroy relationships she spent decades building. But she couldn't resist the spotlight that comes with defending Caitlin Clark. She couldn't resist being the good guy in a narrative that painted veterans as villains. Industry insiders suggest that Miller's betrayal was calculated. She saw which way the wind was blowing with Clark's popularity and made a business decision to align herself with the money and media attention, even if it meant sacrificing every relationship she'd built in women's basketball. What hurts the most is remembering who Cheryl used to be. She understood struggle. She understood what it meant to earn your place through blood, sweat, and tears. She knew that respect wasn't given. It was earned through performance, through leadership, through proving you belonged at the highest level. When Clark scored those first WNBA points, when she thought about pulling up from three, dipped inside and laid it in, that should have been a moment of pure basketball beauty. Instead, it became a symbol of division, because Miller had already chosen her side. Instead of being a moment that brought the league together, it became another wedge driving veterans and rookies apart. The saddest part is watching how this betrayal is destroying Miller's own legacy. She was beloved by an entire generation of WNBA players who saw her as a bridge between the legends and the current stars. Now those same players feel abandoned, forgotten, tossed aside for someone who generates better headlines. I've seen the group chats. I've heard the phone calls. Veterans who used to speak Cheryl's name with reverence now feel like they never really knew her at all. How do you reconcile the woman who preached loyalty and sisterhood with the woman who chose media attention over the relationships that defined her career? The conspiracy runs deeper than most people realize. Miller didn't just betray individual veterans. She betrayed an entire system that protected young players while they learned to navigate the professional level.
Nelson Adota trying to save it and does. And now Clark comes up with a steal. Clark thought about pulling up from three, will dip inside and lay it in. There are the first points in the WNBA career of Caitlin Clark.
Take it at the rim. Here, hesitation. You have to come out on her. It goes.
She endorsed the idea that rookies should be coddled, that they shouldn't have to earn their place through the same trials that every other great player endured. Several veteran players have privately expressed that they feel used by Miller, who benefited from their support during her coaching career but abandoned them the moment it became convenient to support the more popular narrative. What makes this betrayal particularly painful is that it didn't have to happen. Cheryl could have supported Caitlin Clark while also acknowledging the legitimate concerns and feelings of veteran players. She could have been a bridge instead of choosing to burn one side completely. Miller's documentary praise of basketball legends feels hollow now. Pioneers who made their marks on the hardwood, superstars of a growing sport. These are the legends of our game. What about the current legends? What about the women who are still fighting, still grinding, still carrying this league on their backs while rookies get all the attention? The betrayal extends beyond just personal relationships. Miller has essentially endorsed a narrative that diminishes everything current veterans have accomplished. She's suggesting that the league wasn't good enough, wasn't entertaining enough, wasn't worthy of attention until Caitlin Clark arrived. That's not just wrong, it's insulting to every player who's given their career to building the WNBA. I remember conversations with Cheryl where she talked about the importance of paying your dues, of respecting those who came before you, of understanding that individual success was meaningless without team success. Those conversations feel like lies now, Hollow words from someone who was already planning to abandon those principles the moment it became convenient. The impact of this betrayal will be felt for years. Young players entering the league will see that loyalty doesn't matter, that relationships don't matter, that you can throw away decades of support the moment a better opportunity comes along. Veterans will be more guarded, more protective, less willing to invest emotionally in relationships that can be discarded so easily. Some believe this betrayal represents a fundamental shift in WNBA culture, where individual branding and media narratives become more important than team unity and veteran respect. Exactly the opposite of what built the league's foundation. That hug wasn't just support, it was a declaration. When Miller told Clark, "Finally somebody was found by me, I see that's on my side," she was telling every veteran in the league that they weren't on her side anymore. She was choosing her new family over the family that raised her in professional basketball. The saddest part is that Clark herself probably doesn't even understand what Miller sacrificed for that moment. She doesn't know about the late-night phone calls where veterans defended Miller against critics. She doesn't know about the private meetings where players vouched for Miller's character and integrity. She doesn't know about the sisterhood that was destroyed in her name. What's done is done. The betrayal is complete, the relationships are shattered, and the WNBA will never be the same. Cheryl Miller chose fame over family, headlines over loyalty, and individual glory over collective strength. She got what she wanted. She's Caitlin Clark's biggest supporter and advocate, but she lost something far more valuable in the process: the trust and respect of the women who actually made the WNBA possible. I was there, I saw it happen, and I'll never forget the day Cheryl Miller chose to destroy the sisterhood that defined women's basketball. The question now is whether the league can ever heal from this betrayal, or if Miller's choice has permanently fractured the unity that made the WNBA special. One thing's for certain: nothing will ever be the same.